The USA and Israel attack Iran, killing Ayatollah Khamenei. Mission accomplished, and there were never any problems in Iran again. It's the Max Kevin Podcast. Hit my music.
Max Kevin, Max Kevin, Max Kevin, Max Kevin, Max Kevin, Max Kevin, Max Kevin Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Max Kevin Podcast. I am Max Kevin. Just giving you your daily reminder to hit the like, comment, subscribe, share, start political fights in the comments. Okay, we need the algorithm to push my podcast here, because I don't want to work anymore. All right, I just want to be like a Gen Z kid and just be a YouTuber. Just make money sitting here and talking. That's what all the little kids these days, they don't want to get a job. And neither do I. I just want to be an influencer. I want to influence people, all right? So start political fights in the comments, okay? We need comments back and forth. That's how the algo knows to push my content, is with people fighting in the comments. You can just write any comment, all right? Just write, you're ugly. Fight about that. All right. Shall we, let's talk about my life here. I did a couple Japanese shows last weekend. Japanese comedy is tough, It's tough to do comedy here in Japan because Japanese people don't understand, like they believe everything you're saying, Like I have this joke where I talk about like this Japanese scientist inventing new flavors, like chocolate, strawberry, but the one he invented is 3-day-old used girls' panties, That's the new flavor. And then when Japanese people hear that, they're like, oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, wow. It's like, no, it's not real. How do you... Anyway, that's kind of the tough part about doing Japanese comedies. They just kind of they just kind of believe, they think everything you're saying is true, I mean, it's kind of just a cultural difference over here. They don't really understand sarcasm. And anyway, you know what I've noticed? What gets a lot of laughs in the Japanese comedy scene is just like misunderstandings, like people have a funny misunderstanding, it's like, oh, I wanted to heat up my soup, so I thought I was putting it in the microwave, but actually I put it in the refrigerator. Oh, I'm so dumb. Japanese people kind of love that, They're like, oh, he wanted to heat it up, but instead he made it cold. What a silly. Anyway, that's kind of if anybody here listening to this podcast is wondering how they can make jokes in Japanese, that's my advice. Just do silly misunderstandings. That's what the Japanese audience goes for. Anyway, enough about my life. No one cares about that. People are already tuned out right now. I'm not helping the algorithm talking about my life. All right, it's time to make jokes about the news. Let's hear it.
Make jokes about the news. It's time to make jokes about the news. We're making jokes about the news because everything's so.
All right, we're making jokes about the news because everything sucks. And if you guys notice, I changed the music up there a little bit. The young people, they like the dance talk music, the hip hop music. That's what the young people like. All right, and I'm trying to get that coveted 18 to 35 male demographic. Okay, they don't like good music like rock and roll. They don't like people that can sing and play instruments. All right, they like people that can't sing and can't. The hip hop music. Okay. All right, let's just get out of the gate here. Of course, the Iran conflict, Iran war. That's the big hot topic of today. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention there. The great thing about the United States is the Constitution clearly spells out the powers that each branch of the government has, and we can't go to war without Congress declaring war. So that's look, we're not at war right now. This is not a war. Okay, you're stupid to think this is a war. I don't know if you guys heard this House Speaker Mike Johnson. You heard of this guy? Yeah, he went on the internets there, and he said we're not at war. All right, so that's it. Case closed. This is not a war. Okay, he said it's not a war. All right, so if this was a war, Congress would have to declare it. Okay, that's how the Constitution works, right? Congress declares war. Okay. Do you guys remember Vietnam? That wasn't a war either. Okay, that was a conflict. Okay. Yeah, it lasted 15 years, but it wasn't a war. All right, and neither is this one. Okay, look, Americans are dumb. Okay, I think everybody knows. We all know Americans are kind of dumb, right? We can't expect them to know the difference between a war and a conflict, can we? I mean, geez. We can't expect Americans to have actually read the Constitution, right? I mean, it's like 30 pages, the Constitution, you know? Americans don't have time to read 30 pages, okay? Was this, a high school book report, okay? We got TikToks to watch, okay? We got no time for reading. 30 pages. Do they have an audiobook? That's what we need. We need to make an audiobook of the Constitution, right? And make little chapters and put it on TikTok, okay? That's the only way we're going to get Americans to understand it, you know? But we don't need Americans to understand it, right? We have politicians, right? That's the reason why we have politicians. Americans don't have time to read 30 pages. That's why we elect politicians. They read stuff so we don't have to, right? Politicians clearly understand that it's the duty of the Congress to declare war, right? So this whole Iran thing, obviously they're going to vote to take away Trump's power to conduct this war because it's obviously unconstitutional. Okay, let's see this news story here. Let's see. Senate fails to rein in Trump's war's powers. Oh. Okay. Look, we can't expect politicians to read the Constitution, right? It's 30 pages, okay? These politicians, they don't have time to read the Constitution. They're busy taking bribes. Okay, they don't have time to read 30 pages. Are you kidding me? Right? This is not an issue most Americans care about, okay? Americans don't care about this war, you know? They got shopping to do at Walmart, you know? War, who cares? Let's go to an issue Americans care about. All right, let's see here. The waffle fries at Chick-fil-A have finally been fixed. All right. Finally. Jesus, we've been waiting for this, man. I'm sick of going to Chick-fil-A and having these terrible waffle fries. You know, I've been complaining for the last year. I've been writing online, these online reviews of Chick-fil-A. These waffle fries suck. You know, but now they've finally been fixed them, right? This is something Americans can get behind, right? Substandard waffle fries are un-American. You're not a patriot unless we get perfect waffle fries, goddammit. You know, anyway, I don't want to say bad words here, but... a lot of people on the internet are pointing out that during the election, Trump said voting for Kamala would result in a war with Iran, you know? More evidence your vote doesn't matter. I guess people are kind of wondering why this happened. I don't know if you guys are into conspiracies, but let's just assume for the sake of argument that Epstein was working for Israel. You know, a lot of people say he was, which, you know, it's not that hard to believe considering his partner Ghislaine Maxwell was her father was a Mossad agent. But anyway, you know, it's just a conspiracy theory. But anyway, if we just simply assume that Epstein was working for Israel, and you know. He did spend he had a few parties with Trump there, you know, maybe have had some compromising situations with Trump there, you know, maybe he shared that information with Israel, you know, and now Israel has a bunch of things that could really destroy Trump's life, and so basically Trump has to fight their wars for them, you know. If we just believe this dumb conspiracy theory, of course, it is just a dumb conspiracy theory, because you know, the FBI director Kash Patel, he said there's no, you know, Epstein, he was just like a, you know, he liked the Eastern European women, you know, he didn't do any human trafficking. There's no evidence that he did human trafficking, you know. That picture of Prince Andrew with the underage girl who later went on to die by suicide, that's not evidence of anything. That's just you know, look, Kash Patel, he went on Joe Rogan and he said there's no evidence of human trafficking, okay? And it's basically like, that's basically being under oath in a court of law, going on Joe Rogan, saying Epstein clearly committed suicide. I'm just going to have to, he's the director of the FBI. You got to believe him, okay? He wouldn't be in that position just to lie to us about everything. Okay, that's not why he was appointed to that position. Okay, clearly Prince Andrew did nothing wrong, you know? Oh, wait, they stripped him of his titles and arrested him? Oh, well. Look, okay, they do things different in the UK. They speak British English, okay? Can we trust anybody who speaks British English? I can't. I definitely can't. Oh, they're called trousers? Oh, you call them trousers, okay? They're called pants, bro. Oh, you call it the lift? All right, it's clearly an elevator. Oh, you call your apartment a flat? Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Oh, yeah, let's learn British English. Oh, anyway, Of course, growing up, I had a lot of friends from Iran. Iran? Is it called Iran? Iran. Iran? Iran. Iraq? The Iraq? Okay, if there's one good thing that's going to come out of this conflict, not war, this conflict, is that future women in the Miss America pageant will give dumbass answers to. That's probably the greatest thing to come out of the Iraq War is AC Slater interviewing the Miss South Carolina there. I don't know if you guys seen that video. It's a classic and one of the best videos ever to come out of the internet. There, she's just like. And the children in the Iraq, they don't have maps, and the Africa, we need to. AC Slater's just trying his best not to laugh. It's the best video. You got to watch it. Just Google AC Slater, South Carolina response. Oh, it's so funny. Anyway, hopefully something like that will come out of this Iran conflict in the next few years there, Anyway, growing up in America, a lot of my friends were from Iran, because when the Ayatollah took power there, all the rich people were like, later, Iran, we're out of here. Later, bro, we got money, and you're a religious cult leader, so maybe this isn't the best country. Anyway, so a lot of them moved to my neighborhood there. And, of course, everyone's probably all happy. Everyone's happy. I don't think there's anyone shedding a tear that Ayatollah Khamenei is dead there, But I guess like Iraq, the problem is it wasn't just now that he's dead, it's not like the whole government's going to collapse there, I mean, there's probably 1 million people. He's probably got 1 million supporters, keeping him in power. It's like you got to kill all those people too, They definitely won't become terrorists in the future. Remember Iraq? After we killed Saddam, there was never any problems in that country again. Oh boy, who knows? Yeah. This is gonna be great. This is gonna definitely be a good decision for America there. It's definitely not gonna be a giant waste of money. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so my friends growing up, they taught me a little Farsi, a little Persian, as it's called, a little Persian language. I remember kunit bazorge. That means your butt is big. It means you have a great ass, as Al Pacino would say. So if you guys want to join the celebrations, if you want to help out your Iranian friends. To say, all right, yeah, Ayatollah Khamenei's dead. Kunit bazorge. Kunit bazorge. Let's go. Free Iran. Free Iran. Kunit bazorge. All right, that's, I guess that's enough Iran talk. Okay, next news story. Why this part of Antarctica bleeds blood red? Well, I think we know. I think we know why. Congratulations, Antarctica. You've finally become a woman. You've finally grown up. You've become a woman. You're getting your visit from Aunt Flo. Yeah, they're saying, I guess it's like because of rust. There's some rust in Antarctica. There's some rust in Antarctica that makes it look like it gets its period. Of course, there could be other explanations. Maybe this is evidence that the penguins are doing ritualistic sacrifice. You guys ever think that? You think humans are the only species that have secret death cults? Okay, penguins can do it too. All right, they can have secret death cults where they sacrifice their young and drink their adrenochrome so they can live forever. Do you guys know there's gay penguins? Penguins made for life. So there's, they found out there's gay penguins. Oh, you're super religious? You think being gay is a choice? All right, well, how about these penguins? You think these penguins are making a choice to be gay? They got gay penguin death cults, all right? All right, next news story. Let's see. Mr. Beast. You guys know Mr. Beast? Mr. Beast is bringing his trustworthy smirk to finance. Yeah. Does this look like a face you can trust? Let's look at this. All right, let me imitate Mr. Beast's smirk here. Okay, if you guys aren't watching, if you're only listening on the podcast app there, be sure to watch me on YouTube so you can see the face I'm about to make here, and of course, do your part and start political fights in the comments. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's look at Mr. Beast's trustworthy smirk. Okay, let me imitate it here. Let me edit it. You guys, can you trust this? Can you trust this smirk here? Okay, this is a trustworthy face. This is a trust. You can trust me. You can trust me. Yeah, Mr. Beast. He's I don't know if you guys heard of him. He's the most famous YouTuber. He got famous like making poor people fight over money. You can definitely trust him. Anyway, he's partnering with this crypto guy to push this financial app on children. he got a $200 million investment from this guy. Oh yeah, look, that's great. Oh look, little Timmy, I know you're only 13, but it's time you learn how to gamble on crypto. Okay. Working at some minimum wage job is for chumps, okay? What you need to do, you need to take all your birthday money, all your Christmas money, if you're Jewish, all your bat mitzvah money, okay? You need to gamble on crypto, all right? Working is for chumps, all right? You start learning how to gamble. You're only 13. It's time you learn how to gamble, okay? You've been watching Mr. Beast. You've been dreaming about going on Mr. Beast so you can fight 100 other poor people for your chance at $100,000. All right, but now you can gamble on crypto. You can do it on your phone. Mommy bought you a smartphone for your birthday, which is kind of bad parenting. So now you can become addicted to social media, and you can gamble on meme coins. Of course, they say in this article that the app will not push meme coins. They'll only use stable coins, you know? You know the difference between a meme coin and a mainstream cryptocurrency? Nothing. That's the biggest. Well, I guess they got name recognition. That's basically. I mean, the functionality, the utility, everything else is exactly the same of every single crypto that's ever been invented, except some of them are completely different because they have a name that some people recognize. You know, like a Bitcoin. See, that's a good name. Bitcoin's a good name because it's got like bit in there, so people think, oh, computers, and it's got coin, so it's like, oh, people think money. You know. But then they got the other one, Ethereum. That's a terrible. What a terrible name, Ethereum. No one knows what the hell that is, you know? You should have called it internet money, okay? Oh, anyway, yeah, so, you know, meme coins are for scamming people, and regular cryptocurrency that your grandma might have heard of, that's for making money, okay? So anyway, kids, start gambling. Okay, Mr. Beast has a trustworthy smile. He says it's a good idea. You can definitely trust him. I mean, look at that smile. You can trust him. You can trust him. All right, next story. Let's see. Cancer diagnosis can push people to crime. This is known as the Breaking Bad effect. Yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense to me, you know? It's like you get diagnosed with cancer. You're like, oh, well, I'm going to die. Might as well start stealing some shit. I lived a moral life my entire life, but God's punishing me with cancer. I got colorectal cancer. That's cancer of the butt. I ate too many hot dogs. Now I got cancer in my butt. Better start stealing shit. Yeah, it makes sense to me. You know, I'd probably start stealing stuff too if I had cancer, you know. You go into the 7-Eleven, you're just like, all right, well, I'm going to take this Slurpee, you know. And the Iranian refugee behind the counter, he's like, sir, you have to pay for that Slurpee. And you're like, oh yeah, I got cancer, bro. All right? And it's probably the red and blue dye in this Slurpee that gave it to me, but hey, I'm going to die doing what I love. Drinking Slurpees. Kind of makes me wonder if there's like a lesser effect, you know? If like cancer pushes people to do crime, you know? But it's like, what if other disease? Do you think having other diseases would also make people have crime, It's like, sir, why'd you rob that bank? It's like, well, first my girlfriend gave me herpes. And then I figured, might as well rob the bank. My life's over. I looked down at my crotch, and I got these blisters. So I decided to rob the bank, Life's not worth living when you got blisters on your balls. Got to start robbing these banks anyway. I don't think that's going to work as a legal defense. All right, next story. Mexico is pushing a 40-hour work week. That's good, I think they're working too hard down there in Mexico, I mean, imagine you're one of these cartel members, right? Last week your leader died, what was his name? El Mencho. El Mencho died, and now you got to set fire to shit. You got to light cars on fire. You got to light gas stations on fire. You got to make Puerto Vallarta unlivable, all right? And that's fine if you're only doing it 40 hours a week, but these cartel leaders, they want you to work 60 hours a week, no overtime pay. Oh, I got to start burning stuff down for 60 hours a week without my overtime, without my time and a half. All right, this is terrible job security we got at these cartels, I didn't join this cartel, I joined this cartel for the benefits, the 401k, the healthcare coverage, the pension plan. Now you're telling me I got to burn down these cities for like 7 extra hours a week? Come on, we need to unionize. So anyway, I think that'll be good for Mexico. People can work less hours down there. They can work less hours down there selling fentanyl. All right. When you're packaging fentanyl, it's important that you have an 8-hour day with a break. You need to have a break every 4 hours. Lunch break. You might get that fentanyl. You got to wear the gloves, or the fentanyl will absorb in your skin and you'll die. All right. You think they have OSHA down there at the cartels? They have inspections at the fentanyl packing plants. They're like, let's see, this ladder is not up to code. You're gonna need to. No, they just shoot them in the face. They're like, okay. Oh, anyway, okay. Next one. This is a big story. McDonald's, Burger King. They're having a little fight, I guess. So this McDonald's CEO, he's making this video eating this hamburger there. And people are criticizing him because he took a very small bite. He takes a very small bite, and it's like, come on, look at this guy. Okay, first off, just look at this guy. He's wearing a sweater. He's wearing a sweater with his collar tucked in. You expect this guy to take a big bite? This is not a big bite guy. Okay, this guy's clearly a beta. He's not an alpha male. He's a beta. Look at him. I mean, just look at it. Look at his pale skin. Look at his little haircut. All right, he's got his cute little sweater. All right. The Burger King CEO, this guy's a real man. He's got an apron on, all right? He's ready to make a mess. He's going to make a mess all over his face with this burger he's eating. That's why he's wearing an apron, okay? If you're about to eat a messy burger, you're not going to wear your cashmere sweater, all right? They're criticizing this guy for taking a small. Maybe he has a small mouth. Did you ever think about that? Maybe this guy just has a small mouth. Or are we discriminating against people for having small mouths? That's not his fault. He was born that way. All right? Can't help that. Funny thing about this video, this guy, he's like, at the beginning of the video, he's like, I'm not just taste testing this. I'm definitely going to eat this for my lunch. And it's like, okay, the marketing people, they definitely wrote that for him, right? They told him to say that, which is a terrible line. You definitely don't want to lie about it eating this burger for your lunch there, but like they film it and it's completely unbelievable. He's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna eat this for my lunch. Like the people filming this, they probably should have been like, okay, let's do another take. Maybe don't say it with such contempt. Try to make it believable. He's probably sitting there. He's like, I'm the CEO. Okay, I don't eat this poor people shit. We sell this crap to poor people. Okay, I'm making millions of dollars. I'm not gonna eat this crap. Of course, the Burger King guy there, he's he might be a millionaire, but he's a real man. All right. Another funny thing, at the end of this video, the McDonald's guy, he's like, it's got that distinctive McDonald's flavor. Only McDonald's can make this type of burger. And it's like, is that a marketing thing that you want to distinctively McDonald's? What's that supposed to mean? It's like, oh, this is the crap that you can only find. It's got that that crappy McDonald's smell that you can only find, you ever go in these fast food places and it's like, oh yeah, that's definitely McDonald's, That's gonna be a new flavor, We got like ranch, honey mustard, Thousand Island, McDonald's. What kind of flavor dressing do you want on your salad? I want McDonald's. Just give me the McDonald's dressing. I want to put that. I'm gonna use it as shampoo to wash my hair. All right, next story. Okay, let's science talk. Neanderthals. My anthropology teacher told me it was pronounced Neanderthals. Okay, not Neanderthals, not orangutans. It's orangutans and Neanderthals. Okay, that's the only thing I remember from anthropology class. Took that class for a year. Can't remember shit. I just remember he told us to pronounce it Neanderthals. Anyway, they repeatedly mated with humans. Repeatedly mated. Oh, that's kind of a nice word. That's a nice word to say. That's a good one to say. Mated. I think back in the day they probably didn't have consensual. They didn't ask for consent really. I don't think mated is probably the best word that they're gonna use is, I'm not gonna say it. It starts with an R. Rhymes with grapes, drapes, crepes. Yeah, those three words. That's definitely what the Neanderthals were doing there, And, okay, let's just look at a more accurate title for this story by Vice. Neanderthals were banging human women for thousands of years. Okay, that's a little more accurate there. Yeah, I read this article there. It said the Neanderthal men were mating with the Homo sapien women, but not vice versa, not the other way around. The Homo sapien men didn't really they weren't really into the Neanderthal women, which kind of makes sense there, because the Neanderthals were kind of like more muscular, bigger, So it kind of made sense that the big muscular men kind of mated with the human women, with the Homo sapien women, but the didn't work the other way around there, I guess the Homo sapien men just weren't really into like those buff women, I guess there are some guys that are into that, They like the muscle, they like the death by snoo, But I guess not back in the day. That was kind of it's a phenomenon that has continued to this day. We got the stereotype that it's always the Western guy with the Asian women, but never the Asian man with the Western woman. It's a long held tradition there. Neanderthals they wanted to hook up with the skinny Homo sapien women. Kind of makes you feel bad for the Neanderthal women there, No one wanted to bang them. I know the feeling. Anyway, okay, let's go to the next story. Of course, Jim Carrey, something's wrong with his face. So much so that people thought it was an impersonator. He gave this speech at some French ceremony there. People thought it was an impersonator because something's wrong with his face because he got too much plastic surgery. It's tough being a famous person. You got to look beautiful all the time, People are always taking pictures of you. So you got to, even though you're 60 years old, you can't, I understand. My face is falling off too. I kind of want to make it not fall off so much anymore. But I'm not sure I would do so much plastic surgery to where I look like a action figure. I don't know. Something's wrong. Something's wrong with his face. Of course, they say Jim Carrey learned French to give this speech. He gave the speech in French. Oui, oui, s'il vous plaît. Good on him. I guess after the plastic surgery, you got really nothing to do. You got a lot of downtime there. You can't go outside, because you got scars and crap all over your face there. So you might as well just learn French, Anyway, I guess that's it. For making jokes about the news. And now it's time for everybody's favorite segment. It's time for Hot Nerd Talk. All right, it's time for Hot Nerd Talk. The only rule of Hot Nerd Talk, don't tell any women about this, all right? We're alpha males, okay? We don't play video games. That's for betas. That's for McDonald's CEOs. Okay, anyway, Hot Nerd Talk, they released PSSR 2. I don't know if you guys heard about this. It's only for the PlayStation Pro. I don't know. What are you guys playing? Oh, you got the Nintendo Switch? Oh, that's cute. Well, I'm a real man with a real job. I got the PlayStation 5 Pro, okay? I got the PlayStation 5 Pro, so I can use the PSSR 2. What is the PSSR 2, you say? Well, it upscales. It upscales stuff into 4K. Because the PlayStation 5 Pro, even the Pro, doesn't have enough processing power to render games at 4K. So they got to render them at 1080p and then use AI to upscale them to 4K. Does that make sense? Does anything I'm saying make sense? Okay, so basically, it costs too much resources to render stuff at 4K. 4K 60 there. So they just render stuff at 1080p. They render stuff at a lower resolution and then use AI to upscale it to a higher resolution. It's kind of cool. It's kind of neato. It's we got these bottlenecks because of technology there, but now we can use AI to surpass these bottlenecks. And it kind of makes me think that maybe this is how the universe works. Do you guys ever think about that? When you're playing video games, do you think maybe we're in a video game? Do you think maybe we're in a simulation? I'm not sure. Maybe we're not in a simulation, but maybe the universe there works more like a computer. Like there's this guy, Stephen Wolfram. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He has an alternate theory of physics. Basically, he thinks things work more like a computer, where there's these little tiny pieces and they kind of just react to what's next to them, and like a checkerboard. Like you have a simple rule of a checkerboard. If you're a black square, then the square next to you has to be white. And if you're a white square, the square next to you has to be black. That's basically his theory, is that there's all these little tiny pieces and they just have very simple rules. And that's kind of how a computer works there, And it kind of makes sense that maybe like the universe, maybe it doesn't render everything at once there, because it's got to save resources there, Like evolution and stuff, the thing, everything's always kind of working out to save resources there, So maybe like the universe only renders at 1080p and then upscales, uses AI to upscale. Like it's more efficient. It's more efficient to render stuff at 1080p and then use AI to upscale it to 4K instead of just rendering at 4K, So it kind of makes me wonder, like maybe is there evidence of upscaling in the universe there? I think maybe there might be. I'm not sure. I don't know enough physics. Anywho, please start political fights in the comments. Okay, let's look at God of War. The God of War first. They're making a TV show, God of War. They released the first look. All right, let's take a look at that. If you guys aren't watching on the YouTubes, be sure to watch on the YouTubes. Click the like, comment, subscribe, share, and start political fights in the comments. Okay, let's look at the God of War first look. Okay, let's look at that. Okay. All right. Well, I was excited. I was kind of excited about this show, but this is the first look, huh? This is, of course, the creator of God of War, he says that this first look is embarrassing, and it looks like Kratos is taking a dump in the forest. Which, I mean, that's kind of too. He doesn't look like he's taking a dump. I mean, he's kind of just like bending over with his hands on his. I mean. If he was he would be squatting, right? If he was really taking a dump, he'd be squatting. He wouldn't just be kind of bent. I mean, has anyone ever pooped like that? If anyone listening has ever pooped just kind of bending over slightly with your hands on your knees, just let me know in the comments. Let me know if you've ever pooped like that. I've never pooped like that. I usually sit on a toilet. Anyway, yeah, a couple things, like these costumes just kind of look too clean. Like these guys kind of look like they're cosplaying. It doesn't look real, I kind of have this criticism with a lot of TV shows, especially like Netflix shows, like the new One Piece show. Their costumes just kind of look too clean, and like it doesn't look like they're real. They just kind of look like people are cosplaying. And it's like, it doesn't really, like, how can you're, it's like God of War, he's sitting in the forest there, he's living in a log cabin. He doesn't have a washing machine. He's not washing his clothes. He's not putting, fabric softener in his washing machine, washing it on the delicate cycle. It's like, okay, this is real leather. Okay, we need to wash it on the delicate cycle. No, it should be dirty, right? It should look like it's dirty and used, no? That's why I like HBO shows. Their costume design is much better. They look more realistic. This stuff just looks fake. The costumes just look fake, and like something's wrong with his beard there. It's kind of scraggly there. I don't know. I think this actor is supposed to have a real beard, but it looks like a fake beard. I don't know. I don't know what they did. Anyway, that's enough hot nerd talk. It's time for the last segment of the show. Hot UFC talk. All right, we got hot UFC talk. We got UFC 326. They're numbered. They're numbered, even though there's no more pay-per-views. They still number them. I don't know why. Doesn't really make any sense. But, whatever. Anyway, we got the BMF belt for Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira. And the reason why there's the BMF belt is because neither of these guys can actually win the real belt. I like how UFC made this belt for fan favorites that just don't have the skills to be champion anymore. That's great. I like that. It's good. They should make a lot of fan favorite fights. They should do a lot of fun fights. Of course, I don't really have anything to say about this fight. I think Max Holloway will win. I have the same opinion as everyone else that Charles Oliveira, his kind of forward-moving style is not going to be good against Max Holloway. Oliveira might have a chance if he gets him down. He can probably submit him with jiu-jitsu, but it seems unlikely that will happen. And Max Holloway's his fundamental boxing is probably much better. So, yeah, I think Max Holloway will get the win here. I didn't bet on that one. Max Holloway's like minus 220 favorite, so didn't bet on that. I did bet on the Caio Borralho versus RDR. Renier did Riddler. Of course, RDR's last fight, he kind of gave up after the 5th round there. He's like, I'm tired. I don't feel like fighting anymore. And, which, should we respect that? I guess we got to respect that. He gave up on the stool there. Of course, he's fighting Caio Borralho. He's part of the Fighting Nerds, but he's, Caio. He's okay. He's not that bad. Of course, RDR he's plus 220. I feel like this is a 50-50 fight. And RDR is plus 220, so I bet on him. Just because of the odds. Then we got Rob Comic Sans Font versus Raul Rojas Jr. Let's see. Rob Font's 38 years old. Raul Rojas Jr. is 21 years old. He's a young boy. It's an old man versus a young boy fight. And, of course, Rob Font has the reach advantage. But Raul Rojas Jr., he's got the ugly face advantage. He's probably one of the ugliest people to ever compete in the UFC, which, I hope he never finds me and kicks the shit out of me for saying that, but it's true. He'll probably never find me because I live in Japan. But honestly, I think it's an advantage, If you got an ugly face, it makes you want to beat people up. And, his wrestling's very good there, and usually the wrestler wins. But, Rob Font's just an old man. Old man with a lot of experience. And, reach advantage there, so I think this will be a good fight, but I'd say Raul Rojas Jr. should win this one. Then we got old man fight, Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson. 37 years old versus 39 years old. Michael Johnson's on a 3-fight win streak there, even though he's 39 years old. I bet on Drew Dober just because he's got that. He's a beautiful man. He's a beautiful man with beautiful hair, chiseled jaw. I just mostly bet on if I was going to be gay, which fighter would I rather hook up with? And I'd much rather hook up with Drew Dober. So that's why I bet $10 on him. Then, of course, we got Gregory Robocop Rodriguez versus Bruno Ferreira. I didn't realize this is actually the second time these guys fought. Gregory Robocop Rodriguez, he's actually minus 200 favorite in this fight. But these guys have actually fought before. They fought in 2023. And Bruno Ferreira knocked him out. He knocked out Robocop. So, yeah, I bet on Bruno Ferreira. He's plus 200 underdog there. You know, why not? Why not? He already knocked him out. Why not? Why not? Let's see. We got the prelims. We got Cody Garbrandt versus Long Xiao. Brother to Short Xiao. Yeah, I love watching Cody Garbrandt fight. He's still fun to watch his boxing there, you know. But he just doesn't have, he kind of lost his mojo. TJ Dillashaw took steroids and made Cody Garbrandt lose his mojo. Oh well. Yeah, is there any other fights on this card now? Not really. Not really. I guess that's it for today's podcast. Be sure to, this is your final reminder. Start political fights in the comments. Okay? We need the algo to push this podcast, and it's not a good product. It's not good enough for anyone. So please start political fights in the comments. All right, let's listen to my music here. Whenever you're feeling sad, just use AI to make songs that say your name over and over. It'll feel good. I'm the best comic in Tokyo. That's what the song tells me. All right, later.